So here's a video kind of demonstrating some things that you need to know as a faculty member about my math lab. Okay, so the main tabs as a faculty member, you would click on course tools. And so the main tabs that you're going to be concerned with is the assignment manager and the gradebook. So I'm going to start with the assignment manager. This is where you change due dates for your assignments, or if a student has, like, let's say they have accommodations and they need time and a half, you do that here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to change the due dates and the assignment status on different assignments. And so to change the due dates for multiple assignments, which is typically what you're probably going to be doing, you just go down and click on whatever assignments you want. So, like, clicking on all these assignments here. And then let's say I want to do August 21st, 21, and it's going to automatically populate 11:59, but let's say I want to change that. And you press apply to selected, and it's going to apply that due date to all the assignments that you have checked here, okay? And so this is also where you can see the password for your exam. So you're going to want to know what that is. Currently, there's a password already in place, but if you want to change it to something, let's say I want to change it to VDream 85 or something like that, then I could change that password. I like to leave the password the same for all the tests and the final, but that's up to you. You can change it for every test. However you want to do it is completely up to you. Okay, so that's where you see that. You want to make sure that there is a password listed for the test so the students cannot access that without that password. That's where the proctor service comes in. Okay, so this is where your assignment settings are. Okay, so if I go back to the assignment manager and click on individual student settings, this is where you would add a student. So let's say manage student list. Let's say I have a student, let's say Tegan Bork. It's the first student I see there. I would select her and I would add her here. I would save that. And so I would go down and click on the student's name and click on tests and homework. And then I would want to add or remove assignments. And so I would go in, let's say I want to give her time and a half on, all her tests. So I would add those, save. And then this is where you would go in and let's see. If you scroll all the way to the right, this is where you would go in. So like if she gets time and a half, she would get the 60 minutes plus half of that. So that'd be 90 minutes, right? And then here she would get 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, and here she would get an hour and 180 minutes. Okay, so that's where you would go and change those settings for that individual student so they could get their extra time. Okay, so let's see. There's other options here if you want to reorder assignments, delete assignments. Most of the time you won't really use any of those. If you want to set prerequisites, you would do that here. Let's see, if you want to change settings for multiple assignments, you can do that here as well. So if you ever have to import an assignment from a course, you would do that here. Or if you need to add an offline assignment, let's say it's a face-to-face class and you're giving a test in class, or you're giving a quiz in class. Okay, you would go to add offline assignment. That means you're giving it in class. It wouldn't be online, right? And then you would choose, okay, is it a test? Is it a quiz? Is it a homework? Is it other? You would choose the category, give it a name. So let's say quiz 1, and then you would put how many points it's worth. And whenever you do that, press next, you would be able to input the scores for the students. That would be the third step here. Okay, you would be able to input all the scores for all your students. Okay, and so that's how you add an offline assignment. And then the next thing that you're going to be concerned with is the gradebook. Okay, you have some academic freedom here when it comes to your gradebook. Here is where you look at the weights. Okay, this is my online course, and so you have some freedom with your weights. You want to make sure that the weights listed here actually match what you have listed on my courses, your class policy, and this should be the same. Okay, that is your responsibility to make sure that they match. And so here currently I have the homework as 100 points. I have 4 tests and it's worth 400 points. And then I added another category here just called final exam. and that is worth 200 points. So like if you want to add a category, you would go here and add, that category. Okay, so this you have to update and make sure it matches. So if you have questions about that, just let me know. But here it tells you the weight. So like here, test 1 is 14.3% of their grade, which it should be. Okay, if you take that 100, it's worth 100 points, and you divide by the total, which would be 700 points, that gives you the 14.3. Okay, so here 14.3. You want to make sure those weights are accurate. 14.3, 14.3, and the final should be double that. So that's 28.6, sorry, percent of their grade. Okay. If you want to omit an assignment from their grade for some reason, you can just press this little button right here and it omits it. It doesn't count. So like if there's a homework section that you didn't cover for some reason and you don't want it to count against them, you can do that. Okay. So that is your grade book. The next thing you are going to be concerned with is if a student, let's say you have, all of the homework assignments for test 1 close, and you have students who did not actually complete those assignments. You have to go in and put zeros in for those students. So manage incompletes. And so this is where you read here, submit zeros for students who have not started an assignment. So here, look, if you look here, Moodle assignments, I haven't inputted this information yet, but, or let me scroll down a little bit. If you look here, 16.4, there's 6 students who did not complete it or did not even open it yet. Okay, so like once these assignments close, I would go ahead and select, I'm not gonna do it now because they're not due until tomorrow. I would go ahead and select, all of these assignments. And then I would scroll down to the bottom and submit. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to go put in zeros for all the students who did not even open the assignments. If you don't do this, it's not going to input those zeros. So you have to do this after a set of assignments close. Okay. And then let's see what else you would be interested in here. Here's where you add offline items. I think I already showed you that. Here's where you drop a lowest score. So like at the end of the semester, sometimes I'll say, okay, I'm going to drop, 1 or 2 homework assignments because a student, sometimes they miss something for some reason or they're struggling with something. This is where you do that. Okay. And that kind of sums up the vast majority of the things that you will be concerned with. And so this is going to look slightly different depending on the course. This isn't the same for all the courses, but this means here that the students can't actually see it. So Multimedia Library, this is something you probably won't use, but you can definitely tell your students about. This is where the students can access their textbook and like watch videos from the textbook and things like that. So like if I click on, chapter 1, which is whole numbers, and I click on 1.1, which is whole numbers, and I click on this step-by-step videos, and then that's a resource for our students. And so Multimedia Library is an important tool or an important option for our students. Okay, so that basically kind of sums up all the important things that you will need for My Math Lab.